This is your daily market recap for Tuesday, November 7th, 2023. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review, Tuesday, November 7th, 2023. Hopefully you're having a great day. As we expected, more up was coming. We haven't hit our upside targets. However, we might be pretty close to upside in general just because of the amplitude of the move without any pullbacks. As I've said, since getting stopped out and also taking profits of shorts at the low, that we were due for a bounce. This bounce is obviously much more aggressively gone than we thought was possible. However, it doesn't change the fact that there's repeating patterns and potential evidence that it's showing itself for weakness, and that we expect at some point a drop, a bounce, then probably the bigger pullback, because that's been the typical repeating pattern here. Because especially when you trap both sides, you need some volatility, you need some choppiness. You don't want straight line moves. Unless we go straight line higher, then you can get straight line down. At this point, coming in the levels that we're coming into in the VAP zones and certain charts, you'll see that it's more likely that we're going to chop in this area going into options expiration next week. So again, we'll dig in deeper. Hopefully this will all make sense. If you're new to the channel, hit up the Discord room, link in the description below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm doing a live, trying to do one every day if I can, every day other than the weekends, even sometimes Sunday, but you'll get the alerts. TheTradingAgent.com, check it out. Back to Basics education series on this page, from more newer to advanced stuff. If you're also too, please, Interactive Broker, use the link below. You'll get up to $1,000 in shares of Interactive Broker stock. But just beware, like Schwab, some of these brokerages potentially could go absolutely belly up. Also, hit up the Goldman 5.4 high yield savings account. I don't think Goldman's going out of business. They're too big to fail, and get under 250 FDIC insurance. You'll be fine. All right, keeping an eye on this, because again, the first pivot is not until potentially May. Oh, sorry, I had it on March. So that's kind of what we're expecting at this point. As of right now, I think a lot of people have in their mind currently that there's a pivot coming soon. Well, the pivot will pick up if unemployment picks up. At this point, I think that's why I think the market's going to start to just get pretty hairy, very 1970s feeling. Bitcoin has to hold up. Again, just like oil, as we talked about, commodities, materials, they're going to get slammed. Again, they throw the baby out the bathwater. I think the economy is weakening faster than people expect, and confirming it with oil. I mean, absolutely confirming. Even with the freaking war in the Middle East, things are weakening. Demand destruction is real. Natural gas, as we've talked about, wouldn't be surprised if it pulls back. The dollar. Here's the thing. People are expecting the dollar to crash. Got to hold the 50-day. But we had 11 straight weeks of up. Not surprised by some chop. I just don't know if the dollar is the best turd in the turd basket of all currencies, because the QE is already starting in other places and the dollar hasn't done it yet. What does that say about the dollar? It might actually be the strongest poop in the turd bowl. TLT, as we talked about, not surprised that it's chopping up here, watching the 50-day. Again, I still think this is going to be extremely choppy long term, and I don't think bonds have bottomed in the sense of straight line move up. I could be wrong, but watch the 50-day. Again, I'd rather be late on this than early. As we talked about, if it's 1970s redux, then again, higher rates are inflationary. The longer the rates stay higher, I think rates will go higher. It's kind of like lower for longer, higher for longer. The VIX, this is unprecedented. 20 years since you had a 5-day move that strong. Now, again, don't look at the number, look at the percentage. But now look what's happening. I mean, again, the VIX, start keeping an eye on that. Looks like, again, this is what I've drawn out. Bounce, chop, then go. That's my interpretation. SPY. I think we're getting close. Meaning, I think we're close to the trap, right? You break out, fake, then down. This could and people are like, well, where do you think the market will hold? Let me just expand this blue zone. I wouldn't be surprised if we held just, I don't know, somewhere in this area, like 430 plus. But that would be a decent little pullback and chop action, kind of like this. Does this make sense? Or you drop, you pop back. And again, if it popped further, I would think it's probably the 20-day and maybe the channel, then rally back. Either way, those will be, after that will be the best opportunity short, because I think you'll go straight line move. Q. Again, this is not sustainable. Look at this. Look at this. Max upside being hit. Backside of the trend lines. We'll see. Just keep an eye on it. Now, here's where it starts to get funky, right? Because everyone's piling into the Qs, IWM. Like, I really thought you might be able to get channel high. Yikes. Starting to weaken DIA, same kind of thing. Starting to, like, naturally float into its zones. Hope that helps. Gold, as we talked about, I don't trust these until the Feds pivot. Now, gold and other currencies holding up. Gold and dollars, I don't think so. Again, I don't know if it's going to absolutely get crushed. I mean, again, I think it's just as easy as the 160s to retest, minimum. Silver, not going to go anywhere, unfortunately. It's just going to be stuck in the mud. I would love to see silver come back down into this like 1650 range. Could be wrong. GDX, as we said, miners are not safe. They're not safe. They're not safe. They should be up in the 34, 36 area. Look, this thing is crapping out at the lows. If you study the past and you look at the monthly, you know when the VIX spikes, the market crushes miners. If there's credit crunch, they absolutely get crunched. GDXJ, same kind of thing. I mean, you might argue it's a head and shoulders bottom there, but that gets invalidated. Look out below. AG holding near the fort on the lows. AEM chopping, chop, chop, chop. Right? Newmont. This is a name that should be up in the 50s. Look at this thing. Oh, absolute pain. It's just so ugly. Pass on it. Pass. Moving on. All right, tech. This is again Taiwan Semi. Keep an eye on this stuff. Like, I mean, I think you're at levels that matter. It's just will they flop immediately? Same thing with Micron. We talked about, man, once it rallied up, I mean, could it get to the 74 area? Watch the 3-day range. You've got multi-day ranges. Just keep an eye on some stocks. Those are the ones. AMDizzle. I mean, we're close to back testing the trend line, right? Resistance zone. Keep an eye on it. NVID. We talked about filling the gap in the 461. Could it go to the channel high? Like, yeah, there it got to it. Could it go a little higher? I mean, this is always the question you have to ask yourself near term. Could it get back to the 475 swing zone right there? Intellectual property. We said, hey, once you got stopped out, let it go. And then once it got close enough to this gap, let it go. All right, you're there. I mean, trying to warn people, like, you can't marry your positions. You have to have defined risk and you have to have stops. And if you get knocked out, let things move. Don't feel like you have to like stop out and jump right back in. SMH talked about maybe it needs just a little 153 touch, one whatever, low 150s, and then flop. I mean, again, this is just too fast, too furious. Adobe's another one, like just wow. Channel high now. Anybody? That looks really juicy. Again, I haven't taken any shorts on it yet, but I'm looking at it. Apple, same kind of thing. Like, let it break the channel. Let it get to the 100-day. Maybe it fills the gap now. Maybe today's the day. I don't know. Watch these areas. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 green days in a row. Amazon, same time. Amazon's up here, back towards the highs. Another extremely powerful move that is not sustainable. Keep an eye on this stuff. CRM. What do you think here? Really going to break the trend line? I don't know. I personally think it would be easier to short the trend at this point. I don't know, again, at this exact stage, what the best levels are going to be other than expect the unexpected and know that you're probably close. That's all I can really tell people. Like, you're probably close. Like, here, expect Google. We talked about 20-day, 50-day would be an amazing short opportunity. Fail in this gap, right? Again, just trying to keep people informed of what we're looking at. Meta, same thing. Maybe needs to get back towards the high. Microsoft, this thing went off the rails. Thank God for stops. Thank God for them. I mean, who knows? I mean, could we close? Man, we still couldn't close over that 1,360. It's interesting. And just keep an eye on this stuff. I mean, I don't know how much higher this is, but this is getting so, like, think of rubber band, like being stretch. And DAQ. Looking for pops. I mean, obviously love to see this thing pop. I don't know if we'll get the 200-day, but that would be the easy, man, 52, short it. I mean, if you see that, short it. MicroStrategy holding up, getting to the top of the range. Can it break out? Is Netflix getting a little tired? Would really like to see 350. Thank God again for stops. We'll see. Roblox holding up really well. I mean, this again, everything take the market up. I mean, I don't ever really think of shorting Roblox, but I would really like to see this thing get crushed. Tesla, good old Tesla. Come on, 20-day, maybe even 231. I mean, somewhere in that range. That would be the ideal short range. X, we're not talking about it. Nucor, again, look at materials today. Not looking so hot. Really would love to see that, but not getting it. Again, maybe these pop. Caterpillar, this thing's been absolutely busted. We really like to see the 200-day. We'll see what happens. Maybe, maybe not. FedEx. I mean, a lot of these names just they had their bounces. We'll see if they get. I mean, really love to see the 50-day here, but holding the 20-day. Costco back up again this channel. I mean, it's hard to know exactly where the top is, but I mean, again, this name is usually a little looser and wider than else. But I like the short. I mean, it's a clear reference spot. Keep it simple, stupid. VALE. Material names, as we talked about. Pop, some flop, some chop. Here you go. I mean, it doesn't really look that good. Arrow. I mean, have you guys seen Arrow? I keep talking about it. Loved it at 13, loved it at 15. Guess what? We can't buy it. You just can't buy it. Man, this thing got absolutely burned. I got an alarm at 8. CCJ after hours. Oh, sorry. They're talking about some news about buying BAM, I think holdings. We'll see. Again, I'm not shorting this name, but I could see it failing up here because, again, all materials, they throw the baby out with the bathwater. CF, same thing. Let these ag names get booting. Let them throw these things out. I'll pick them out of the trash. Absolutely. We're going to need to eat. Food supplies will always be an issue in time. And if you have a commodities bull market, you bet your ass these things are going to be moving. AA. All right, not surprised. Little bounce, right? These things have been just absolutely slaughtered. XLF, interesting watch where, because I thought we might get into the 34s. But maybe the confluence of all these moving averages, you have a 3-day range, has to get over 33.86. JP Morgan, we like to short up here in the mid 140s. 50-day, keep your pie hole on it. Morgan Stanley, same kind of thing. I mean, someone went long this. I think, again, I can't remember who it was. Momo. I mean, good luck. I mean, hopefully you got your, I mean, I think you got in at 72. Take your couple bucks. Do what you got to do. You know, I think sometimes this is where you might hurt yourself trying to squeeze lemon out of lemonades. Lemonade out of lemons. Yeah, just look, again, I'd rather just wait for these things to pop and short them. BAC, because again, I don't think financials have much upside. Really love to see that 200-day, but looks like you got a 3-day range. Watch the 100-day. Goldman Sachs, we talked about this downtrend. Maybe that's the play, but I don't know. Maybe it's stuck at the old uptrend. I mean, this is where it's so hard because, again, if the market is about to peel and then get choppy in this area, I don't know what the upside is going to be. So you have to adjust your evidence. You have to adjust to the evidence that you see. I think a lot of people get hard line thinking. That's why it's a constant review of evidence. Like, I'd love to see the 200-day, but what if this is just a novice gap trap? Right? XBI, we talked about this name. Getting all over the place. Baby bios. I said this yesterday. I said, watch, today will be a green. All right, maybe a channel high, maybe not. Again, people say, well, you tell me what's going to happen. I wish I knew with certainty. This is why we dig in. IYT, look, you got a 3-day range, right? You would think the housing names would be on fire today, right? No. Just barely getting off the ground here, right? XLI, right? Think this would be up. Industrials, right? No. Right? Here you go. Here's materials. No, look at that big red. China slowing down. Negative 6.4% exports. Probably worse than that. Solar, we talked about getting crushed. Well, it got crushed. Orange crush, right? Goodbye. I mean, solar's just gone. Any big pop on these, I would just short. And again, honestly, I don't even know why I'm showing them. I mean, like, for solar, just give me 160. HYG, we talked about it rallying up here. Can it really get over this area? I mean, I don't think it's getting over the trend line. Oil, as we said, you're welcome. Said this was a massive risk. UNG, again, leave it alone, little doggy. Who's got the drip? Leave a message. Still got drip stock. I mean, again, I told people, like, look at this, breaking the channel. Uh-oh. Didn't we say ExxonMobil could be destined for breaking? All right, we'll keep an eye on that. I mean, again, my favorite were MPC and Valero. Remember, gasoline demand, real problem. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O, break the 144, and this thing is just going to open the floodgates. Valero, same thing. Take out the lows, and these things have massive downside potential, 20-30% easily. Occidental, I think they had earnings today. Ooh, that's not a good reaction. Gap down. Oops. Right? EQT, check it out, right? Like, we talked about the 44 area not looking so hot, and then Flex LNG. All names that, again, I think will be a long-term exporter of natural gas. I have no doubt of that. But these names, I mean, the whole sector, it's showing you global weakness. So if you have any questions, again, please reach out. Use the Calendly link. Do not be a stranger. Don't be a weirdo. If you need help, reach out. Again, so many people who ask questions but aren't willing to reach out. And then maybe I'm hard to approach. Whatever. But don't be scared. When the student's ready, the teacher appears. Love you guys. Appreciate the love, support, and the generous donations. Have a wonderful night. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.